allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
The top stories
and the analysis you trust. Simon Conway
on your radio
and the iHeartRadio app.
I love this American ride. Gotta love this American ride.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Good afternoon, how are you? Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me as we kick off a brand new week together. It is 4:08 on a Monday, and we love being here.
You'll get a confirmation text and info, and message rates apply in this nationwide contest.
Meanwhile, it's getting hot in Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen. There's GOP lawmakers in the House and the Senate weigh up whether or not they are going to object to the electors for Joe Biden when they get that opportunity on Wednesday. I've asked the entire Iowa delegation, one by one. I went through them. This morning, before we get to their answers, this morning, I asked you whether you thought any member of the Iowa delegation would object. So that's 2 senators, 4 members of Congress. We're already assuming that Representative Cindy Axne will not object. I didn't waste her staff's time. But I did contact the other 3. Ashley Hinson, Randy Feenstra, Marionette Miller-Meeks. We have heard from everybody except Senator Joni Ernst. She's the only one we haven't heard from. When I asked you this morning, do you think any member of Iowa's congressional delegation will object to the Biden's electors in, those battleground states? We all know who they are. It's interesting. 60% of you said nope, didn't think it would happen. Almost 30% of you, 28.3 to be precise, 28% of you said yes, I expect a member of Iowa's congressional delegation to object to Biden's electors. I'm stunned that you thought that. And almost 12% of you, 11.7%, said, nope, I do not know, I have no idea. I've always been in the thought that, you know what, none of them are going to do it. Not a single one. Not a single one of Iowa's congressional delegation will object to Biden's electors. That was my position. That's where I thought we were going to go. And we have heard from 1 senator and 3 members of the congressional delegation. You can find all of this, all of their answers, their complete answers, on my Facebook page, facebook.com/simon.conway.1776. There's a lot of commenting going on, let me put it that way. A lot of people weighing in on this subject. And you can too in a minute. So the first one we heard from was Representative Feenstra, the new representative in Iowa's 4th Congressional District. No more do we have Steve King. We now have Representative Feenstra. Here is what he said. Representative Feenstra has said before he wants to review all the facts, the relevant constitutional provisions, and where things stand before making a decision on January 6th. Given he was just sworn in yesterday, he'd like to hear more from his constituents and have those conversations with his new colleagues. Unquote. I do not edit their quotes. They are in their entirety exactly as they were delivered to me. The whole thing. So Representative Feenstra has specifically said he wanted to hear from his constituents. You can call Representative Feenstra at 202-225-4426. That's 202-225-4426. He was the first person to come back, and we're very grateful to him. 515-284-1040, 284-1040, because we want to hear from you guys as well. We want to know what you think. So please do let us know exactly what it is that you think. Next up on the the people responding to us. We got a quote from the Deputy Chief of Staff from Congresswoman Miller Meeks. So the quote you're about to hear is from Austin Harris. He is the Deputy Chief of Staff for Congresswoman Miller Meeks. We do not have a quote from her. As a 24-year Army veteran and member of Congress who swore on oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, Congresswoman Miller Meeks believes that any justification to decertify electoral votes must reach the highest standards. Her guiding principles are to protect the integrity of the Electoral College, support states' rights, federalism, it says in brackets, and support the original intent of the Constitution. She understands the precedent decertification would set for future elections. People are rightly upset over how elections were conducted in the states questioned, but those concerns should be addressed by an impartial body and not by intensely partisan politicians. Apparently, a fuller statement will be made available tomorrow. Seems pretty clear, right? It's clear. 515-284-1040, 284-1040. That's the phone number. That's what we're waiting to hear from you on. We'll probably wait till after we take our first time out. Because, you see, I've gone through all of this. I wanted to make sure that we had all this sorted out. That we heard from as many members of the congressional delegation as we possibly could in order to give you a full picture of what is going on with Iowa's congressional delegation. It's important. In the U.S. House, it's very interesting all of a sudden. Kevin McCarthy, no less, the minority leader, he told Fox and Friends today, quote, "We have to make sure that our elections are accountable, have integrity, and are safe." He was making that comment after a conversation that the president had with Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, over the weekend. Was reported by the Washington Post, which has audio of that conversation leaked by Georgia's Secretary of State. That's incredible in and of itself, right? The president has confirmed he did indeed speak with Raffensperger on Saturday, quote, about voter fraud in Georgia. McCarthy said, "The president's always been concerned about the integrity of the election, and the president believes that there are things that happened in Georgia, and he wants to see the accountability for it. Does anybody in America," said McCarthy, "think the last election was done well? What has happened here in the last election because of COVID, people just sending ballots out to anyone who's on the rolls, these rolls have not been cleaned up. This isn't the first time it's happened. When are we going to straighten out our elections? When can we have a debate about the integrity of elections? If we really want to unite this country, that's what the House should be doing and the Senate. This should never happen again in the future." McCarthy is not saying if he's going to object, however. We're across the great state of Iowa and the Midwest. Your phone calls will be next. This is the Simon Conway Show.
Famous for holding politicians accountable. Simon Conway is on your radio and the iHeartRadio app.
We are across the great state of Iowa and the Midwest. It is the Simon Conway Show, 424 on a Monday. We're talking about the objections that may or may not come on Wednesday and how many of them may come from the Iowa delegation. My prediction is 0. So far, I've told you what 2 of them have told us. We're going to spend the whole first hour on this. So what I want to do before I get to some more is talk to you guys because we got a full board of calls. Let's start out in Cedar Rapids. We'll talk to Brad. Hi, Brad. You're on the Simon Conway Show.
How you doing, Simon?
I'm good, man. How are you? Happy New Year.
You too. Yeah, I'm actually pretty disappointed in our Iowa delegation. I just can't believe that this. I don't think this is something they can sweep under the rug and not investigate fully. There's just way too many unanswered questions. If I'm going to ever have any faith in our voting system again, I'm going to need to see some answers.
It's a real problem. That part that you just mentioned is a real problem because I want people to try and take their own personal politics out of it for a moment. The 2016 election, about half the country believed we elected, or elected in air quotes, a president that didn't get the votes. They believed his is President Trump, excuse me, an illegitimate president. There's going to be a big...
the end.
It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. That's what they believed. And now in 2020, no matter who is sworn in on January the 20th, about half the country is going to believe that person didn't win. It's a serious problem. We have to fix it because it's unsustainable, Brad. I appreciate your call, though, buddy. Still there? No? Okay. Have a good day. Let's go out to Baxter now, talk to Josh. Hi, Josh.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, I just wanted to say I think we're all pawns in this game.
Mm-hmm.
That no matter what we do, if you're a working class person with the family, you're getting ran over by the liberal because they got nothing to lose, and we have everything to lose. And it's going to ruin our country. That's all.
Josh, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of the day. Let's go to John now. Hi, John. You're on the Simon Conway Show.
Good afternoon, Simon. I didn't call Sydney Axtey specifically to ask her about how she was going to vote on that. And you were right to not bother calling her because the person who answered the phone didn't even know for sure if Sydney Axtey had voted to elect Pelosi the Speaker of the House.
That's kind of funny.
So. I'm pretty sure. So anyway,
wow.
I'll let somebody call in and thank you for getting me on the air.
All right, John, appreciate it. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Let's go and talk to Greg now. Hi, Greg. You're on the Simon Conway Show.
Yes, Simon, thank you for taking my call. I absolutely would not consider even voting for somebody who would not desire to be objective and be able to recognize what has gone on with this election, all the fraud and everything that's been going on. For them not to even consider the objection that we have and the multiple people that are objecting is absolutely a disgrace to the Republican Party and to America, to our republic.
Greg, I appreciate the call. There's a lot of people feel very strongly about this. I appreciate you making your point. Thank you very much. Let's go out to Centerville now. We're going to talk to Mo. Hi, Mo.
Yes, sir. I would like to make a quick statement here. If our court system don't even want to hear what affidavits from sworn American citizens, don't even want to listen to anyone. If this election is not fixed this time, if the truth isn't extrapolated out of what happened this time, there are no more elections. You're left with two choices: surrender to this evil or fight again. That's the hard truth, and this fence riding crap's got to go. This has to stop.
Or you could maybe go and move to an independent Texas.
Yeah, an independent. You're going to see that. You're going to see.
Oh, I think you might see. I do think you might see that. I've got to tell you. We'll see.
It's a sick, sorry situation is what it is.
I appreciate the call, Mo. It's going to be interesting times. I definitely appreciate you picking up the phone. We're not done with this by a long shot. Tom in Clive is on the phone. Janice in Boone is on the phone. Jake has still got some calls to answer. I got some more information for you, including what the rest of our delegation is going to do. Across the great state of Iowa and the Midwest, this is the Simon Conway Show.
Every day, he's all over the top Iowa and national stories. Simon Conway is on your radio and the iHeart Radio app.
We are across the great state of Iowa and the Midwest. It is the Simon Conway Show. Right now, we are talking about what, if anything, members of Iowa's congressional delegation will do on Wednesday when they get an opportunity to certify or otherwise the Electoral College decision. So far, I've told you what Marionette Miller-Meeks is going to do and what Randy Feenstra is going to do. Congresswoman Ashley Hinson has not really answered us. She gave a long statement on her official Facebook page, which starts, Congress will soon meet to formalize the 2020 presidential election results. I have heard from many Iowans about this vote, and I wanted to take this opportunity to explain how the process works in the interests of transparency. And that's what she did. She explained how the process worked. I put her entire statement on my Facebook page. With all the rest, you can read it for yourselves. I'm certainly not reading this out in its entirety. And so far, we have no idea what she's going to do based on that statement. Don't think you're going to like it. Finally, we've heard from Senator Grassley. Quote, Senator Grassley will participate in the joint session of Congress and Electoral College certification debate on Wednesday. He will decide how to cast his vote after he considers all the information before him, unquote. While I've been in frequent contact with Senator Ernst's office, I have no on-the-record statement from her with regards to her intentions. I got to tell you, I think that's pretty poor. Everybody had the same amount of time, and I feel she should let Iowans know what it is that she intends to do. Because it's a matter of debate now. It's a sincere, major problem to a lot of people. You've got to take that seriously. So now in the House, you've got this effort spearheaded by Jim Jordan of Ohio, right? You got him. And, look, Jim Jordan, a very serious conservative, but moved in a very interesting direction at one point during the last session. Mo Brooks of Alabama, they're objecting to the certification of the presidential election results. Brooks said 50 others, including Jordan, Trump, and White House staff, were on a phone call. Congressional members on the call reflected only, quote, some of those in Congress who have committed to challenging the results of the Electoral College, results that it was won by President-elect Joe Biden, unquote. That's what's being challenged. That was over the weekend, Saturday night conference call. Meanwhile, in the Senate, a group led by Ted Cruz, they are still discussing, that's in quotes, which states, if any, they will object to. Hear that? Which states, if any, they will object to during the certification process. Cruz, I believe, will do it. They're basically saying they will object to the certification unless there was an emergency 10-day audit of the results by an electoral commission. There's not going to be that, so in theory, they're going to object. Let us go back to the phones right now. We've got a full board of calls, and I want to get as many of you on as possible. I should be able to get all of you on, to be honest with you. Let's go to Tom, who is in Clive. Hi, Tom. Thanks for your patience. Happy New Year. You're on the air.
Happy New Year. All that good stuff. You were dropping quotes from the time you got on the air. In 1968, 52 years ago, George Wallace on the presidential campaign trail said, there ain't a dime's difference between Republicans or Democrats. How I hate to believe he was right, but could you blame them? Because look at it. Great pensions, lifetime benefits, speaking fees, inside information that could be financially beneficial if you have a good financial planner or an accountant. And you talk about disenfranchisement. This is going to get a lot of people to really lose faith and not show up to the polls.
Well, if you think the outcome is fixed before you cast a ballot, then that is definitely disincentivizing for going to vote, right?
It has all the sincerity of championship wrestling. Everybody knows the outcome. They just go through the motions, put on a good show. It's sad. It really is. I'm depressed for more reasons than one.
I'm sorry. For some reason now I'm thinking about members of Congress with their bodies oiled up, which is a vision I really didn't want, Tom, and I blame you. Have yourself a great rest of the day, buddy.
Right?
You have a great rest of the day, my friend.
Take
God
care.
bless you. Thanks for the call. Let's go to Janice in Boone. Hi, Janice. You're on the Simon Conway Show.
Hi, Simon. I want to say Happy New Year and thank you for keeping us all informed out here. And I'm very disappointed in the people we elected. And I pray every day for our president and for our country. And one thing we have to do is trust in the Lord, and God always wins. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you making a call. Happy New Year to you, Janice.
Happy New Year.
Take care. Let's go out to Cedar Rapids now. Talk to Mike. Hi, Mike. You're on the Simon Conway Show.
Well, thank you, Simon. I have a hard act to follow. These elected officials are just absolutely disgusting. This is not like it's just dropped on their laps out of the blue. Commit one way or the other. They've had time to think about it. They've seen or heard or willfully ignored the evidence and the affidavits of this past, let's call it an election. And the fact that our Iowa constituents cannot be representative of the people that put them in office is just absolutely disgusting. I'm expected to go do my job every day and be held accountable for the quality of work I do. I expect the same from our elected officials. Thank you, and have a wonderful New Year.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. You have a wonderful New Year as well. Let's go out to Perry right now and talk to Chad. Hi, Chad. You're on the Simon Conway Show.
Hi, Simon. How are you this afternoon?
I'm good, my friend. Thank you.
I just wanted to call and just vent a little frustration. We have 3 voting members in our family, and we're Republicans. I mean, we're not super conservative and anything, but we're typically Republican, and we're pretty passive as far as being, involved in that sort of stuff. But I tell you, we are upset. We're watching all this stuff going on and cannot believe that our elected officials in the state of Iowa are, as the previous callers have stated, are just ignoring what we are generally saying, and that's that you need to do your job. You need to object to these obvious crimes that were committed in this election. And it's just so upsetting that and I don't understand what their political gamble is on this as far as voting for Biden to be certified, but there must be something that they're afraid of as far as fallback. What is it?
Well, you have to ask them. Good luck getting an answer.
Yeah, well, I emailed both of them today and told, Grassley, Senator Grassley and Senator Hurst, and told them both that, if they didn't vote the way that they should, that they wouldn't be getting any more votes from anybody in our family. And I think that
did you get a response? Did you get a response?
Just a whatever you call it, the automatic response that they send back when you send an email. Okay. It was nothing personal. All right. So I would say no.
I think you're going to get a canned response to that.
Exactly.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're
Have yourself
welcome.
a great rest of the day. Happy New Year. Oh, he's gone. Sorry, that might have been me. I apologize. I think I was too quick on the drop button. I sincerely apologize. Steve is in Davenport. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Simon. Happy New Year to you, buddy.
And to you, my friend.
Thank you. Hey, you know what makes this so aggravating is the fact that the Supreme Court kicked the can down the road, and they pretty much said this is a political issue. So the politicians need to deal with. And the fact that they're not is just, if you could touch the back of my neck right now, you'd pull away with your hand burnt. What do we do? What do we do, brother? What do we do?
Well, man, you've got to watch what is happening with the people that we, the people, put in power in our state, and you've got to have a memory because 2 years is how long you need the memory for the congressional delegation, and Grassley if he runs again. 6 years for Ernst.
I got a response from Grassley, and it's exactly as you described it. It's canned. I will respond with another message with more information. That's what I.
All right. Well,
whatever, buddy. Whatever.
I wish you a happy New Year, and
we're gonna have to work it.
We are, aren't we? I appreciate you, my friend. You take care.
I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to do it, Simon.
All right, buddy. Take care. We still have a full board of calls. Someone just hung up, so if you want to get in, you can, and I'm going to do my best to get you all on. We've been talking about this since we started the show. We're going to keep talking about it until the end of hour number 1 and maybe into hour number 2. We'll see. We're across the great state of Iowa and the Midwest. It is the Simon Conway Show.